Ooh, time to buy this flight out of here, boy. I'm ready to go on vacation. See what they got cheap. Let me see. Ooh, they got a what to combo? $10. Oh, I'm about to book that right now, boy. It's about to be night. What is it? It just said $10, but I could do 160. Like, I could do that. I could do 166. Let me. It just said 100. Yo, go up again. Go up again. You running my fade. I swear you go up again. I'm a.
Your chin like a pistol, I laughing. Your chin like a pistol, ayy. I pull up shoes, pull up waves, pull up rain, pull up gun, pull up stain, pull up deep, pull up rain. Yo, I pull up shoes, pull up waves, pull up.
Whoo! I just flew in from Jersey, and boy, are my wings tired. I was like yesterday years old when I finally realized that joke is a double entendre for. Like you flew in on a plane, but if you were a bird and you flew in, you would be tired because your arms would All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Bruce Rants. Bruce Rants episode Woo. I think Woo is Mandarin for 5. I heard that from someone I know and love very dearly. Episode 5, episode Woo of Bruce Rants. Today's episode is going to be about flying. Who gives a flying? I somehow managed to end up flying a lot. Now, I hate flying, traveling in general with a passion, but I love not being in the place where I'm supposed to live. It's this weird dichotomy that I have going on that I somehow will never be able to remedy. And I think I'll always just be in a state of being in absolute bliss and absolute misery for the rest of my life, as long as I keep flying and hating the place where I actually live. I actually also hate driving and walking. And the only reason I drive is because I hate walking, and the only reason I fly is because I hate driving. And it's just this never-ending circle of having to drive somewhere because I don't want to walk and having to fly because I don't want to drive. And so on my most recent flight to New Jersey, I realized that there's been like a decrease in the quality of pilots being able to land their planes. I want to know what's going on in pilot school that for some reason none of you know how to land a plane. Like, when they said we're having a crash course in flying, they didn't mean nose diving into the runway. Now, I know, I probably shouldn't judge someone on something I myself don't know how to do, but this guy on this particular plane was exceptionally bad at landing. I might as well have just jumped out of the plane and like barrel rolled on the floor to make sure I got there safely. The way pilots have been landing nowadays is almost akin to being nega jumped on the trampoline. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, Bruce, I've been nega jumped before. Black people have jumped me plenty of times. Let me go back to that statement and say, any of you who are thinking that right now, you're racist. Go watch episode 3 or whatever about the race video. You need race Jesus right now. But for those of you who thought, well, Bruce, what is a nega jump? A nega jump is when you're on the trampoline, you're jumping, and someone jumps or stomps at the same time as you jump, and you kind of do like this on the trampoline because all of the force that was applied to the trampoline when you tried to jump has now been negated by the person being a complete jerk to you, stomping or jumping on the trampoline at the same time as you. Everyone has a brother, cousin, or friend who has done this to them at least one time. You just didn't know the appropriate term. Bruce's definition of the day, nega jump. And so for you pilots out there who are doing these hyper-aggressive landings, nigga, you need help. Now, I'm not really one to judge anyone on the plane because I myself am what is known as a shameless plane farter. And a shameless plane farter is someone who will get on the plane and just light the whole thing up because they, for some reason, have no empathy towards the other people on the plane. Now, I don't believe in the lack of empathy thing because anybody who does not have empathy for the shameless plane farter is the one who really has no empathy at all. You are completely apathetic yourself. I'm a shameless plane farter because most of my trips are to visit my girlfriend, and I cannot fart in the presence of my girlfriend. So if I spend 3 days, that's 24 times 3, 72 hours with my girlfriend, I have spent 72 hours with gas welling up in my system. I'm not spending another 3 hours on the airplane with you with this thing building up inside of me. You might have to smell my fart for 10 seconds. I just had to hold it for like 7,000 times that. I lose, not you. By the time I get on the plane, my stomach is just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Do you want my intestines to turn into Hiroshima? Because you have so much apathy in your soul that you don't want me to let out that gaseous air that is welling up inside of me? Do you know what happened to Hiroshima after they nuclear bombed that place? Why do you and your selfish brain want my intestines to have 3 arms and never have children again? Save an intestine. On the other hand, I'm not afraid of a little bit of gas. I'm not afraid of the usual things people are afraid of on the plane, like terrorists or babies or sitting next to fat people. Now, I know body positive, but no one wants to sit next to a fat person on the plane. If your belly is on your lap and your belly is on my lap, then I'm asking for a different seat. No, I don't have those kind of fears. My plane fears are kind of weird. Like, I'm afraid of sitting next to a couple on the plane. Because if I had to sit next to a couple on the plane, which has happened to me before, i.e. I have PTSD from this, now I have to sit there and watch you cuddle, kiss, and smooch your significant other for, if it's a plane from Jersey to LA, 5 hours straight. I wouldn't even want to see people kiss, smooch, and cuddle in a store called the Kiss, Smooch, and Cuddle store. Another irrational fear I have is the fear of having to get up and pee in the middle of the flight. Now, I'm an introvert and I'm an empath, and that's probably the worst combination of things you could ever put in a person ever. Now, if I'm on the plane, I'm in the middle seat, and in the middle of the flight I need to pee, that means I have to, in my introverted head, convince myself that I am not inconveniencing the other person in my empath mind by getting up to pee in the middle of the flight. And it's a never-ending battle of me trying to convince myself to talk to the person next to me to ask them to move, and convince myself that I'm not inconveniencing them by asking them to move in the middle of the flight because I need to pee. By the time I've convinced myself of either of those things, the plane is landing and I've already pissed my pants. And now I have to have an argument about whether I've inconvenienced the person next to me by pissing my pants. And last but not least, I'm afraid of waking up as soon as the flight attendant gets to me on the plane. Because now I have to have a discourse with the flight attendant over what snack or drink I want. Now, for the regular person, that wouldn't be an issue, but I am probably the top 5 most indecisive person you will ever meet in your life. So when the flight attendant has to come up to me and ask me what drink or what food I want, that's like me having to decide whether to sacrifice my mother or my father to save myself or my brother. In the end, everyone dies and I still don't have cookies or pretzels. And I ended up getting a drink with more ice than drink. Admittedly, I'm like the most selfish traveler ever. I don't want to fly with people who don't know how to fly. The last thing I want in life is to fly with the disabled international first-time traveler with a fear of heights who just so happened to be put in the exit seat. Because if we're flying over the ocean and I, as a person who can't swim, so happen to be on the plane that's crashing in the middle of the ocean, now I have to die a slow, empathetic death just because you wanted to be born in a situation that you couldn't control. Why can't you be more empathetic to my situation? I can't swim. I never took the time to learn. I can't really blame those specific kind of people for not knowing what to do in the exit seat because none of us know what to do in the exit seat. I want to meet the guy or gal who's actually prepared to help the plane in the event of emergency. What kind of loser are you that you actually read the plane material that'll help me in case we crash in the middle of the ocean and I, as a person who can't swim, need to dog paddle my way back to the floaty device that comes out the bottom of the seat? You probably floss after meals too, you dweeb. The only thing that's worse than prepared people in the exit seat are women who overpack when it comes time to ride the airplane, which is every woman who rides the airplane. Now, I wouldn't even have a problem with women overpacking on a flight if I wasn't always the white knight doofus helping the woman who got the 50-pound bag through TSA put the freaking thing in the overhead compartment in the middle of the flight. Women will pack anything in a carry-on and then look at everyone else like they're stupid because the sacrificial goat they packed in their carry-on won't fit in the freaking overhead compartment. Why do I have to be inconvenienced just because you thought you could bring that on the plane? Spirit Airlines is just a name. Now I have to slip a disc because all you do is go to the gym and do glutes with a sweatband on. Do shoulders. The sweatband isn't working. Your belly is still in my lap, sis. As a guy who's supposed to be a strong guy, nothing makes me look more stupid than me having a 50-pound bag overhead, struggling to put it in the overhead compartment when it won't fit. The flight attendants are probably the most spatially aware people I've ever met in my life. Everyone has an example of a time they couldn't put something in the overhead bin, and the flight attendant comes up and turns it pi over 2 degrees to the left, and all of a sudden it slides in like there's nothing wrong with it. Like, what are you doing as a flight attendant? Do you know what the Tetris World Tournament payout was? Quit. They'll never help you take it out though. Tetris, not Jenga. Tetris, not Jenga. I wish I was a pilot, then I could really tell people what they need to hear over the little speaker system. Oh, all right, I finally made it on the plane. I got my bag underneath me, I got my...
Hello everyone, this is your pilot speaking, and I just want to know if you think you're on the flight to LaGuardia. You're on the wrong flight. Ha ha ha. Nah, I'm just kidding. What? Oh, man, you corny. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give me the. You better. Man, this is. Hey, man, give me the mic. Corny ass joke. Hey, this is the co-pilot speaking. Y'all on this plane need Jesus. I took a walk around the plane, and I got some things to say about the tomfoolery that was presented to my eyeballs. Now look, the people in the first 2 rows passively fighting over the armrest. If y'all don't square up right now, I'm beating both of y'all up. Y'all 2 dudes have been elbow checking each other for 10 minutes straight. The people in the middle seat and the outside row seat get the armrest to the left. The window seat guy doesn't get one. You got the seat choice gold medal. You stop being greedy. You don't get an armrest. The woman who didn't bring a jacket, stop jacking with the air. How many plane rides you been on you still can't remember your jacket? Y'all hop in other people's cars and touch the volume without permission too, don't you? The plane is always cold. Get over it. Now I want everybody to pull out their ticket right now and look at your seat assignment. If you're sitting in the wrong seat and you hold up the seating line because you have to move, you stand in for the rest of the flight. I don't care about the seatbelt fasten sign. You a flight attendant now since you can't do one of your 3 jobs as a passenger. And you with your feet out. Put your feet in. Don't nobody like feet. Why do you think babies are born head first? And you got Kunta Kinte feet. You play footsies with the monsters under your bed, don't you? You dirty... And whoever farted in row 12, hey, I ain't even mad at you. I just want to know what you ate. Because you smell like sauteed failure. Maybe less gluten or something. Bro, that's pretty rancid. That's not right. Alright, that's it. Everybody, put your laptops away or whatever and buckle the damn seatbelt. Stop acting like you've never been on the plane before. And good luck to everyone if we crash, because the guy in the exit seat picked it for the leg space. Here, you can have this back. Well, that was riveting. Sit back and enjoy the plane ride, everyone. Yeah. And thank you for flying BruceRants.
My guy pretty like a girl, and he got 5 stories to tell. I see both sides like Chanel, see on both sides like Chanel.